Can I ask you something personal? Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or looked at a familiar face only to feel your memory slipping for a moment? You are not alone. According to the New York Times, nearly 1 in 7 older Americans over the age of 65 lives with some form of memory loss that affects daily life. That is close to 7 million men and women, and many of them never saw it coming. As a neurologist with more than 30 years of experience, I have seen the heartbreak when memory begins to fade, not just for patients, but for their families. But here is the truth I want you to hold on to. Memory loss is not an automatic part of aging. The choices you make, what you eat, how you move, how you care for your brain, can protect those precious memories. Today, I want us to begin a journey together. Not a lecture, but a conversation. A safe place where you and I can talk about your brain, your muscles, your strength, and how to keep living with clarity and independence. Do you recognize yourself in what I just said? Share your story in the comments below. If this resonates with you, subscribe so we can walk this road together. Because protecting your brain before it needs saving is the most loving gift you can give yourself and your family. Number 1, the silent killer, hippocampal sclerosis. Have you ever noticed how the smallest lapses in memory can feel unsettling? Forgetting a name, misplacing your glasses, or struggling to recall a familiar word. Many people brush these off as just aging. But after 30 years as a neurologist, I can tell you that sometimes these small cracks can point to something deeper, something scientists call hippocampal sclerosis. The hippocampus is a small but vital part of the brain, no bigger than your thumb, buried deep in the temporal lobe. Think of it as your brain's library, storing and organizing the memories of your life. Hippocampal sclerosis means that the neurons in this library begin to die off. Once these neurons are gone, they do not come back. That is why sclerosis in this region is such a silent but devastating process. The tragedy is that this condition often masquerades as normal forgetfulness. A patient of mine, Mr. Johnson, used to laugh about his senior moments. But over the years, those lapses grew into disorientation, repeating the same stories, and forgetting how to get home. When his brain was later studied, the damage in his hippocampus was profound. Recent research published in JAMA Network Open has brought new attention to this problem. The study found that older adults who followed a brain-healthy diet, specifically the MIND diet, were 22% less likely to show hippocampal sclerosis when their brains were examined after death. That means nearly 1 in 4 cases might be avoided simply through long-term lifestyle choices. I share this not to frighten you, but to remind you of something important. Memory loss does not arrive overnight. It is the slow work of years. And that means every choice you make today, every meal, every habit, has the power to tip the balance. Do you recognize moments when your memory feels weaker than before? Share your experience in the comments below. I promise you are not alone. By speaking about it openly, we begin to take away the fear and move toward action. Because protecting your brain before it needs saving is the most precious gift you can give yourself and those you love. Number 2, what science proves about food in the brain. When people talk about memory loss, they often imagine it as sudden, like a switch being flipped. In truth, it is the result of decades of slow, invisible changes inside the brain. That is why researchers have spent years searching for patterns that explain why some people age with clarity while others lose their way. One of the most important discoveries comes from a remarkable project in Chicago known as the Rush Memory and Aging Project. Since the 1990s, more than 800 older adults with an average age at death of about 91 years old volunteered to do something extraordinary. They allowed scientists to track their diets, their habits, and then to study their brains after death. These men and women filled out annual food questionnaires for up to 18 years. They donated their most private possession, their brains, so future generations could learn. What the researchers found is striking. Those who followed the MIND diet most closely had about a 22% lower chance of hippocampal sclerosis, the type of neuron loss that devastates memory. They were also less likely to show combined brain diseases like hippocampal sclerosis with limbic predominant TDP-43 encephalopathy, which is a toxic protein buildup linked to dementia. And across the board, their hippocampus contained fewer signs of overall neuronal loss. Even after adjusting for age, sex, education, calories, and genetic risks for Alzheimer's, the results held firm. That means the food itself, the patterns of eating over the years, stood out as a shield for the brain. As the Washington Post explained in its coverage of this study, food is not just fuel for the body, it is information for the brain. The lesson is clear. Protecting memory is not about waiting until symptoms appear. By then, the damage may already be written into the brain's tissue. It is about the everyday decisions you make at the dinner table. Choosing olive oil over butter, whole grains over refined ones, leafy greens and berries instead of fried snacks. So let me ask you directly, if science shows that your meals can protect your hippocampus, the very core of your memory, what change will you make first? Will it be one more serving of greens this week? Or maybe a handful of walnuts in the afternoon? Share your answer in the comments, because when we learn from each other, we give hope and strength to everyone walking this journey of aging with dignity and clarity. Number 3, the mind diet, a memory shield. Over 3 decades of practice, I have seen one truth again and again. The brain responds to the care we give it, and one of the most powerful forms of care is the food we eat. Scientists call it the mind diet, short for Mediterranean-diet intervention for neurodegenerative delay. That sounds complicated, but its purpose is simple. It is designed to protect your memory. The mind diet combines the heart-protective principles of the Mediterranean diet with the blood pressure-lowering benefits of the DASH diet. But instead of focusing only on the heart, it zeroes in on the brain. In fact, researchers have shown that older adults who follow this plan closely may cut their risk of neuron loss in the hippocampuses by about 22%. Imagine reducing nearly 1/4 of your risk just by adjusting what you put on your plate. What does the mind diet look like in everyday life? It emphasizes leafy greens most days of the week, spinach, kale, or collards. It calls for berries at least twice a week, nuts regularly, and beans every few days. Whole grains become the backbone of your meals, while olive oil replaces butter as your main source of fat. Fish and poultry are encouraged, while red meat, sweets, and fried foods are limited. The beauty of this plan is that it does not demand perfection. You do not need to give up every indulgence. Instead, it encourages tipping the balance in favor of brain-friendly choices. Think of it like strengthening the walls of a fortress. Each serving of greens, each drizzle of olive oil, each handful of blueberries adds another layer of protection to your brain's memory center. As USA Today recently noted in its coverage of aging and diet, small, consistent changes over years, not quick fixes, make the biggest difference in brain health. I have seen patients in their 70s and 80s who began eating more vegetables, berries, and nuts, and within months felt sharper, steadier, and more engaged with daily life. So I ask you, what simple swap could you make this week? Could you replace dessert with a bowl of blueberries or trade the butter on your toast for olive oil? Leave your answer in the comments. Each step may feel small, but together they build a shield strong enough to guard your most precious memories. Number 4, memory killers hiding in your kitchen. As a doctor who has spent decades studying the aging brain, I have learned that the foods we choose can either protect us or quietly harm us. Many seniors tell me, "Doctor, I only eat a little butter," or "It is just one pastry now and then." But here is the truth. Over time, even small amounts of the wrong foods can chip away at your brain's defenses. Let's start with butter and margarine. These spreads are high in saturated fats, which clog the blood vessels that deliver oxygen to your hippocampus. When that blood flow is restricted, neurons begin to suffer. Then there are pastries, cakes, and cookies. They are not only packed with sugar, but also refined flours that spike blood sugar quickly. Repeated spikes are linked with greater risk of dementia, as reported by Harvard Health Publishing. Fried foods and fast foods carry a double danger: unhealthy oils that inflame the brain and salt that raises blood pressure. That combination slowly damages the delicate vessels that feed your memory center. I once cared for a woman in her 70s who insisted that her daily fried chicken was too small to matter. But after years, her cholesterol and blood pressure soared, and her memory loss advanced quickly. She later told me, "I wish someone had told me these little choices were not so little." Now, I want to pause and talk with you directly. Think about your own kitchen. Are there foods you know are hurting your health, but you keep around for comfort? Maybe it is that carton of ice cream, that bag of chips, or the buttery rolls you cannot resist. I want to hear from you. Please share in the comments which food is hardest for you to give up. By admitting it openly, you take the first step toward change. And you may be surprised, someone else will read your comment and feel less alone, realizing they face the same struggle. That is the healing power of community. Remember, my goal is not to take away your joy, but to help you protect your memories. Cutting back on harmful foods is not punishment, it is protection. It is the act of guarding your stories, your independence, and the faces you never want to forget. And you deserve that kind of care. Number 5, small shifts, big wins. When patients first hear about brain protective diets, many feel overwhelmed. They imagine having to throw out everything in their kitchen and start from scratch. But real progress does not happen through extreme changes. It happens through small, steady steps that add up over time. One of my patients, Mr. Harris, is a good example. At age 74, he was discouraged by his growing forgetfulness. Instead of asking him to follow a strict plan overnight, we began with just 2 changes. He swapped butter for olive oil when cooking vegetables, and he replaced his daily soda with green tea. Within 3 months, he reported sharper focus in conversations and less afternoon fatigue. His memory had not transformed completely, but he was moving in the right direction. And most importantly, he felt hopeful. This is the heart of brain health. Small shifts lead to big wins. Replacing fries with a green salad once or twice a week, adding a handful of walnuts to your yogurt, or choosing grilled chicken instead of fried. Each choice may seem minor, but in the long run, it strengthens our hippocampus, lowers inflammation, and stabilizes blood sugar. These are the building blocks of memory protection. The mistake many older adults make is believing they must be perfect. They try an extreme diet, feel deprived, and give up quickly. But the truth is, you do not need perfection. You need consistency. Aiming for progress, not perfection, is what allows your brain and body to adjust and thrive. So let me ask you, what is one simple shift you can start with this week? Could it be swapping a sweet dessert for a bowl of blueberries? Walking 10 extra minutes after dinner instead of sitting down right away? Leave your answer in the comments. By sharing, you will inspire someone else to take that first step too. I often tell my patients, think of these changes as investments. Every small step is like putting $1 into your brain's savings account. Over the years, those dollars add up to a powerful reserve of resilience, protecting your memory and your independence. And that is the kind of wealth no one can take away. Number 6, beyond the brain, whole body benefits. When we talk about the mind diet, the focus is often on memory. But what many people forget is that your brain does not work in isolation. It is deeply connected to your heart, your blood vessels, and even your muscles. Protecting your memory is not just about eating for your brain, it is about nourishing your entire body. Take heart health as an example. The same foods that protect your hippocampus, leafy greens, berries, whole grains, nuts, and olive oil, also reduce the risk of high blood pressure and clogged arteries. According to the American Heart Association, adults who follow a Mediterranean-style diet, which the MIND diet is based on, lower their risk of heart disease by nearly 30%. And when your heart pumps stronger, your brain receives the steady flow of oxygen and nutrients it needs to thrive. There is also the benefit of reduced inflammation. Fried foods and processed snacks act like sparks in the body, igniting tiny fires in blood vessels and brain tissue. By contrast, foods rich in antioxidants, like spinach, walnuts, and blueberries, help put out those fires. Less inflammation means clearer thinking, steadier mood, and even less joint pain. And let's not forget daily energy. Many seniors I work with notice that after switching to brain-friendly meals, they feel lighter and more capable. They move more easily, sleep more deeply, and report fewer falls. One patient told me, "Doctor, I thought this diet was for my brain, but I feel it in my legs and my heart too." That is the beauty of approaching health as a whole. So here is my invitation to you. Instead of asking, "What should I give up?" ask, What can I add that will help both my brain and my body? Maybe it is a morning walk paired with a bowl of oats and berries, or an evening salad dressed with olive oil instead of a heavy cream sauce. Tell me in the comments which benefit excites you more, the idea of a sharper memory or the chance to have stronger energy every day. Your answer will remind us all that health is never about one organ alone. It is about living with strength, clarity, and dignity in every part of your body. Number 7. Myths that steal your memory. After 3 decades in practice, I have learned that misinformation can be just as dangerous as disease itself. Too many older adults accept myths about memory loss, and these beliefs quietly rob them of the chance to take action. Let's clear away some of the most harmful ones. The first myth is that memory loss is simply a normal part of aging. While some slowing of recall can happen, significant forgetfulness, like not remembering familiar names, places, or daily tasks, is not normal. It is often a sign of deeper brain changes. Believing this myth keeps people from seeking help early when lifestyle changes can still make a difference. The second myth is that supplements alone can protect your brain. Walk through any pharmacy and you will see shelves lined with pills promising sharper memory. But according to the National Institute on Aging, there is no strong evidence that supplements like ginkgo biloba or fish oil capsules can replace the benefits of a nutrient-rich diet. Real food, greens, nuts, berries, whole grains, is what consistently shows results in long-term studies. The third myth is the most heartbreaking. It's too late for me. I have heard this from many patients in their 70s and 80s, but research continues to show that even late in life, dietary changes, gentle exercise, and stress reduction can slow decline. I once worked with a 78-year-old man who began adding greens and berries to his meals. Within months, his energy improved, and his family noticed he was following conversations more easily. It was not a miracle. It was biology responding to care. These myths spread because they are easy to believe. They offer excuses or quick fixes, but they take away your power. The truth is that you are never powerless when it comes to your brain health. Each choice, each walk, each meal, each night of good sleep is a chance to build resilience. So let me ask you, have you ever believed one of these myths? Maybe you once thought memory loss was unavoidable, or that a supplement bottle could be the answer. Share your experience in the comments. By speaking honestly, you help others see that there is always another path, a path of hope, action, and healing. Number 8. Why starting late still works. One of the most common fears I hear from patients is, "Doctor, I think it's too late for me." By the time they sit across from me, they may already feel the weight of muscle weakness, slower thinking, or lapses in memory. But after more than 30 years of caring for older adults, I can tell you with confidence, it is never too late to begin protecting your brain. Research supports this hope. In studies covered by the Chicago Tribune, seniors in their 70s and even 80s who made simple dietary adjustments, more leafy greens, fewer fried foods, daily servings of berries, showed measurable improvements in cognitive function within a matter of months. Their memories did not reset to age 40, but their decline slowed and their clarity improved. That difference meant more independence, more conversations remembered, and more cherished moments with family. I remember one of my patients, Mrs. Thompson, who at age 79 began walking 15 minutes each morning and replaced her usual pastries with oatmeal and blueberries. 6 months later, she told me, "I don't lose my train of thought as often, and I feel steady on my feet again." Her story proves that even late changes bring real benefits. The key is consistency, not perfection. A lifetime of habits cannot be reversed overnight, but the body and brain are remarkably adaptable. Your hippocampus may already show signs of stress, but feeding it with antioxidants, omega-3 fats, and steady blood flow can slow further damage. Muscles that have grown weak can still respond to gentle training. The brain and body want to heal when we give them the chance. So I invite you to see today as the right time, not too early, not too late. Think of one action you can begin now: an evening walk, adding nuts to your snack, or switching butter for olive oil. Small steps started today build into lasting changes tomorrow. Let me ask you, what change will you start even if you feel it's too late? Share your plan in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else to believe that it is not too late for them either. Together, we can create a community of hope, because healing has no expiration date. Number 9, protecting the memory you love most. After all we have explored together, the science, the foods that heal, the myths that harm, and the small steps that bring big wins, I want to bring us back to what truly matters. At the end of the day, protecting your memory is not about statistics or even about medical terms like hippocampal sclerosis. It is about safeguarding the moments that give life meaning. Your first dance, the voice of your grandchild, the stories you tell around the table. These memories are not just brain functions, they are treasures of the heart, and they deserve protection. What the research shows us is powerful. The mind diet, along with other brain-friendly habits, can help reduce the risk of memory loss, even in the later years of life. Eating leafy greens, choosing olive oil over butter, adding berries to your week. These small acts of care add up over time. They form a shield around your hippocampus, the brain's memory center, preserving the stories that make you who you are. But I want you to remember this: it is never too late to begin. I have seen patients in their 70s and 80s improve their clarity, their mood, and their independence by making simple adjustments. Even one change, like trading dessert for a bowl of blueberries, can be the beginning of something greater. Your brain is resilient, and it responds when you nourish it. So let me ask you directly, what memory do you most want to protect? Is it the face of a loved one, a favorite song, or a special moment from your youth? Reflect on that for a moment. Hold it close. That memory is worth every step you take today toward healthier living. I also want to remind you, you are not alone on this journey. Thousands of seniors across the country are walking the same path, making small, steady changes to live with dignity and strength. By sharing your story in the comments, you not only help yourself, but also inspire someone else who may be feeling uncertain or afraid. This is how we create healing communities. If today's message speaks to you, I encourage you to continue learning. We have prepared another video that focuses on one simple but powerful step you can start right now. It is titled, "Eat this simple veggie daily to protect your memory." In that video, I will show you how one humble vegetable, eaten daily, can nourish your brain, strengthen your focus, and help protect your memories for years to come. I promise it is practical, easy, and something you can begin immediately. So here is my call to action. Click the link, watch that next video, and commit to trying it for yourself. Then come back and tell us in the comments how you feel. Your reflections and your experiences will guide others, and together we can keep building a community of seniors who are not just living long, but living well, with clarity, strength, and cherished memories intact. Eat this simple veggie daily to protect your memory. Because protecting your brain before it needs saving is the greatest gift you can give yourself and the ones who love you most.